Alright, so last time that we had left off, I was just kind of checking out Kisangani, which is where I'm going to be going. My vision has already told me so there's that. Um, but before we actually go there, I want to make a little bit of a pit stop. Basically, it's kind of going to be like a heaven and hell tour, right? The first part of it's going to be heaven. It's going to be just kind of having a good time, chilling out, checking out places. I'm thinking Southeast Asia. Particularly, I'm going to spend maybe 3 days in Tokyo. I'll just pick a district and I'll stay there for 3 days. I might go back to the same district that I went to in 2018, which was the Shinjuku ward, because I'm only going to be there for like 3 days. Long story short, it's expensive in Japan compared to Southeast Asia, and there's way more bang for your buck in Southeast Asia. So that's why I wouldn't be staying in Japan, or otherwise I would stay in Japan for just as long as Southeast Asia, if not longer. It's a fun place, but it is a lot more. It really is. Trip 2018. I got the whole budget. I fucking saved everything, bro. I got the whole budget here. Every single thing. I even converted everything. So, anyway. Japan's more expensive. 110%. So anyway, this is the second place that I'm going to be going. That's going to be Manila, Philippines. So, and if we take a look at the satellite, let's just check out the greenage overall. When it comes to some of these places, there is the Congo, the equator line. It's a little bit above Kisangani as far as the equator is concerned. And what is on the equator? New Guinea. Definitely not going to New Guinea. Indonesia's kind of interesting. Look at Australia. Look at how like fucking deserty Australia is, dude. It is just like scorched earth right there, dude. Jesus Christ, it's like the banished lands. Holy crap. But it's got like green around the areas though. But then look at this. This is a yikes. I live in Phoenix and it's so hot. Look at this. This is just all sand. Look at that shit. So let's check out Phoenix real quick. As you can see, it's pretty scorched throughout this whole area right here. Right down into Mexico, parts of Texas, and then there is some green area there. Interesting. But anyway, the Philippines is just a notch above the equator. And let's get back into the other mode here. So the equator's right about on Kisangani. It really is. It's almost right on it. Right there, dude. right there. It's almost right on it, dog. But anyway, 3 days in Japan, that means that I could do kind of the less stressful route where I go from Phoenix to Honolulu, and then from Honolulu to Japan, it's about a smidgen under 7 hours here, around 7 hours, right there, and then to Japan, it's about around 8.5 hours. It's very manageable. It's so much less stressful than like, these 30+ hour awful flights with multiple stops. Like first is Phoenix to LA, and then 4-hour layover in LA, and then you got a 13-hour leg all the way to Incheon. Okay, and in Incheon you have a 7-hour layover, so there's 11 hours of layovers, an hour approximately of flying, so there's 12 hours. Plus, it's my first trip ever international, so I got to the airport way too early, especially, it was just, for the time I went, it was just way too early, so there's a couple hours on top of that. So 13, 1, 14, and then 7 hours is 21 hours, and I think it was another 7 hours roughly to Thailand. So we're hitting almost 30 hours right there. And then when I got to Thailand, it took me like an hour to navigate to the right spot to get the best currency exchange, because I've used to trade FX, so I'm really anal about getting the best exchange rates possible. It's something I like to do anyway. I did a little bit of research into it, but it took me about an hour to get to it. Waiting for luggage and then going through the customs, and then going down and getting the best exchange rate, which is on the B floor. By the way, if I fly into Thailand, I would actually rather fly into not Don Muang Airport, Don Muang, but the going into the Suvarnabhumi. I'm horrible at Thai. I know a little bit of French, Spanish, and English, and that's about it. French, Spanish, and English. I feel those are the most important languages to learn first. If you're going to learn 3 languages, you want to learn English, Spanish, and French, in my opinion. Now, I was also going to check out Rayong the last time I went to Pattaya. Now, Pattaya, I just gotta have to tell you, it is a single dude's paradise. I mean, just saying. The place is just, it's another world when it comes to certain things I'm not going to discuss, I guess, at least on Twitch. But it's a fun place, okay? But anyway, it's a little too fun, and I actually wanted to, at one point, check out Rayong. And see like what the differences were from like a place that's not so party town USA and more laid back. Long story short, money wise, I was like, well, you know what, I still wanted to go to Cambodia and I just couldn't get to Rayong, so I would definitely want to go to Rayong if I went there. I'd really like to do more legit tour of these places than I had. I just feel like it's basically a money thing. I did it on a real shoestring budget, and I thought that if worse came to worse, I would be able to maybe stay at a hostel or something. Like, I don't travel very luxuriously at all. I stay in mostly 3-star hotels, Southeast Asian 3-star. And in Cambodian 3-star is, yeah, it wouldn't even be 1-star in some places, just in my opinion. And then I have also stayed at a 2-star hotel, and let me tell you something. It's rough. It's like it's not that bad, but it's bad. It's like you have your own space. You have your own bathroom and toilet. Um, there was no fridge. It was really tiny. It's like Japanese tiny, where you just like a real small room. I believe it did have a wall-mounted fan, which is nice. And this was 2-star, I believe. But yeah, no fridge. Really uninsulated was another way to put it. But anyway, enough about the hotels. Anyway, basically, I cannot stay anything lower than a 2-star hotel. It's just not happening. Like, I don't need fucking 4 or 5-star hotels, but 2 stars is about as low as I'm going in Southeast Asia. Okay, like, you know. Anyway, that's as low as I'm going. Another way to save money is that I got a lot better at as I actually started exploring was buying like street food from the street stalls. And you find a good section. It's really about finding like a good area, and then ultimately like someone that you trust. Obviously, sometimes when you're in a place for only about a week or two, you can't really get to know somebody. Well, let's just say that. But once you've been there for a while, you want to do the street food if you can, because it is the most affordable, and it's really not that bad. I never really got sick from it or anything. Some of it's not the greatest. I like trying different foods and stuff, so I ate some like different weird stuff like gizzards and fucking hearts. I don't even know what some of the stuff I was eating. I don't even know what it was. I was just like, fuck it, dude. It looks like, I'm just like, is it good? I go, good, and they just go, yeah, it's good. So I try it out. Anyway, Rayong looks pretty interesting. It does look like it might be a little bit more laid back, which would be interesting just to take a couple days away from Pattaya. Check out Rayong, but you never know. You might meet a gem in Rayong. You never know. You never know when you travel. That's the thing, dude. I actually met somebody in Japan who was pretty cool. But again, when you're only there for a few days, sometimes it's hard to make those things last. Okay, that's interesting. Just chilling out in Rayong. It's got a beach vibe to it. No, it looks interesting. Is that Rayong there? Holy shit, that is Rayong. Looks like it's being developed or something. Not enough money for Rayong? That looks alright. Some touristy places. I like going to see tourist places from time to time. A lot of neat architecture. It really is. I mean, the more different architecture you see, the more that's part of the travel experience. It's got a lot of, I don't know, just like, I don't know, fiery type architecture here in Thailand. Very pointy, spiky type of shit going on in some of this temple architecture. That's interesting. So those must be for kind of breaking up the ocean there from really slamming in. Got some military going on and crap. More of this the jaggedy architecture here. The pointed crowns. Pointed. Hey, look at that's fiery, dude. I told you it was fiery, dude. It looked fiery. It's very interesting. I kind of like Kisangani in the Congo's architecture a little bit better than Southeast Asia, I would say. It's just got a weird flavor to it. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. This is kind of rigid, yeah, with a little bit of flair to it, I guess. Rigid with a flair. Not bad. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying I like the Congos, and that's I had the vision for. This is just still gonna be a prelude. This is gonna be just like fun times compared to Africa, I'm sure. So anyway, it would be Philippines to Thailand, wherever I could go, basically. To Cambodia will be the distressor. Body will actually, I take that back. It's gonna be from Phoenix to Hawaii. I might stay 2 nights in Hawaii. And then off to Japan, where I'll stay, I think, 3 nights. Again, they're just more expensive. And then I'll go down to the Philippines, Manila, and maybe a couple other areas in the Philippines, depending on certain things. I'd like to go to a place closer to the equator. So maybe Davao City, yeah, something like that. Then over to Bangkok, into Pattaya, and then wherever. I'd love to go to Chiang Mai. I'd love to see Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai. This kind of whole northern area, I think, would be neat to see. And then back to Bangkok's kind of like a base area of this thing. It would be, you know, Manila to Bangkok, and then to Pattaya City, Bangkok, go back to Bangkok, Bangkok to Chiang Mai, then back to Bangkok, and then Bangkok to Phnom Penh. And then I would love to go to like Sinuakville. I've always wanted to see. Even I know that there's Chinese, a lot of Chinese going into Cambodia, but I still want to see it, basically. And I'd also like to go here, Krong Stong Song, Siem Reap. I would check out Battambang. I would check out kind of this area right here, the northwest area, if you will. Um, so 1, 2, 3, and then Phnom Penh back to Bangkok. And then from there you need to take Bangkok to Entebbe International Airport in Uganda. And here's where I'm confused about what I want to do. I would love to do a land trip. But from what I understand, land trips suck horribly. I mean, they're fucking awful from what I understand. I guess once you get in the Congo, it's like you never know if you're going to be... Hey, what's up, bro? If you're going to be... just if you're going to make it where you're going to need to make it. People need to, like, bribe people and... just to get to the next area. So I think I would have to take a flight from Entebbe into Kisangani, and then that's where I'll make my final destination. So that's a pretty hefty price to pay here. Phoenix to Honolulu. Let's just go ahead and check out how much that would cost. Let's check that out. Flights there. Here we go. So let's go one way, Phoenix to Hawaii, Honolulu. I'm just curious. See something out here. There it is, dude. $316 non-stop. Are you serious? That's cheaper than I thought it was, actually. I think it depends on the time of year you go. But I guess August is going to be, school starting back up and all that shit. No one's off of, like, everyone's off of summer vacation. So it would be like, see, it's about 6.5 hours. 6 hours and 45 minutes was my flight. So that's 300. That's not that bad. That's doable. That's non-stop. It's all in timing with these things, bro. It's all in timing with these things. So let's go ahead and go from Honolulu to Tokyo. We'll do that like a couple days. Okay, so it's a little bit more expensive on this end. It's probably an 8.5 hour flight. None of these are, here we go, non-stop. $541. So it's about $900. We'll just roughly take it. Then you got to factor in hotel prices, any transportation prices. It's fucking so much little things, food. You gotta fucking plan all that shit out, dude. All about financial. It'd be really easy if you're like a millionaire that's like, fuck. You just take the flights, dude. You don't have to fucking plan on anything out. Okay, so then we're gonna go Tokyo. To Manila. And that's not that bad, dude. That's not that bad. $182. Now, another thing you got to factor in when you're doing this shit is baggage. Like, what does this fucking include? Because as you can see, you know, additional bags and other fees may apply, and usually they do. So 182, not that bad, and it's only what, about 5-hour flight. That is nice. That's nothing, dude. That's an easy flight. 5 hours, God, simple. But you know, what's the check-in fee? If you have a check-in, which I do when I do a multi-month travel, I'm gonna have one check-in. Plus, people are, it's weird. There's a lot of blogs out there about like check-in, right? There's a lot of blogs about check-in shit. That, oh man, you could be carry-on only like me. But like, when you have any liquids or any type of snacks or foods, you get checked every time. Like, it's so much nicer to check in all that shit. Just easy peasy in a bag. You have more room in case you need more room. I still get it down to like, it was like 13 kilograms. And when I came back, I think it was like 14 kilograms. So I gained a kilogram from buying like shirts and stuff like that. So it gives you wiggle room. Breaks it up. So you don't have to worry about sticking stuff overhead. It's just, I don't know. It's good for multi-month trips, if you want me to be honest with you. I say choose check-in. So price-wise, I mean, definitely, you know, $350, $1,000 just to get to fucking Tokyo, almost, maybe a little bit less. But then you got to factor in the hotel costs. So it's more than that. But let's just factor in the flight costs. Okay, it's $1,000 around. And then this is gonna be 200 something. There's gonna be a check-in fee. All right, so 200 something, and I think Manila to Bangkok is oh, that's really cheap. It's probably, again, you're gonna add about $30, maybe $20, $30. 3.5 hour flight. That's simple. Again, Cebu Pacific. I would just have to check out what kind of check-in fees they have. Probably it's not too ridiculous. Maybe $20, $30 most, at most. Like American Airlines charge $30. And some of these other ones, they'll charge maybe $20 if you do it. You know, if you book it ahead, and don't do it at the airport. Like that's dumb. And then Bangkok, I already know Bangkok to Phnom Penh. I've been there twice. It's gonna be around $60, I guess, something like that. Yeah, $63, non-stop, hour 10 minutes. Thai Air Asia, simple, easy. I know the process. They hoard you up. They take you out on a bus. And then you get on the plane on the actual tarmac or whatever. Simple. And then the fun one, and then it's going to be another $63 back to Bangkok. And this is best bare bones basic. Entebbe, Uganda. Entebbe, Uganda. Alright, so that's actually cheaper than I thought it was going to be. Holy shit. 2 stop from Suvarnabhumi to Muscat International Airport. What the hell is that? I'll have to check that out. And then you got about a 3-hour layover and then about a 6-hour layover. Okay. So not exactly a fun trip, but you know, doable. I've been on worse. And then from Entebbe to Kisangani. Entebbe to Kisangani. Let's go there. Entebbe to Kisangani. There should be something. I think Ethiopia. Yeah, Ethiopian. Price unavailable. That's good. So that's one of those question marks that Africa has. Like, you go on the roads, you're fucked. You know, you don't know if you're gonna get through or not. I mean, from everything I've read, that's pretty much the situation. But who knows? Maybe that's all. Maybe some of it's a little bit bullshit. Probably not, though. I just factor in 3K for flights. So if I was to plan this trip, I would factor at least 3K, and that's for you know, even though Kisangani is my vision and it's my goal, it's still nice to have a backup to where you could get back to the States, okay? And that's a whole nother thing. Like, you goddamn, you know, you gotta prepare for all that shit as far as I'm concerned. So I'd just say 5K would be something like that. Just factor in 5K. I think that's probably a realistic price to set a flight goal for Kisangani. You know what I'm saying?